heading out to check his sluice stuff so the horses don't knock over his finds and stuff that he's working for Ernie. Oh my goodness, they are so cute. I can't believe we have that many of them in here at once right now. It's a big herd. It's got to be from the fire.
Welcome to Dueling sluices. If you want to know what I'm talking about, I would like to thank Ernie Dion for that awesome lead-in to this. And what we're basically doing is myself and a third-generation Virginia miner contacted Ernie and let him know that we thought that maybe he needed something a little more than just a plastic sluice, that he might want to consider some type of matting. Because here we deal with a lot of ore going out to the mines and the mining areas. So we have a great deal of sulfide. Sulfides are nothing more than sulfur that came up through volcanic activity and penetrated this material. And oftentimes what will happen is some of those sulfides get real heavy because they may contain little pieces of ore or precious metals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run, these are Ernie's concentrates, and I'm going to run these concentrates, and we are going to see if there is a part 2 to the legend of Ernie's lost gold. And you want to hear the original, please go to the Mahoney Mine site, and you can see the story of the legend of Ernie's lost gold. So we are going to run this material, classify it out, and see if he's losing any of his gold. What I'm doing is I'm actually brushing back this material to try to get the lighter stuff to move on. And of course, the heavier stuff will not. So I brush it back, try to move it along.
They get trapped on air bubbles and stuff, right, honey?
They do in the black mat. In the miner's moss and blue matting on this machine, no.
We were supposed to do this earlier today, but we had 15 horses in the yard that wanted to hang out over here, so we had to wait till the sun started to set.
And of course, as soon as you turn on the water, they smell it and start heading for it. This is the bucket of concentrates we got. There's not a great deal, there's not a whole lot of them in here, but there is a lot more than Ernie collected. And I put some in here as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pan this out. And I'm going to pan this down to concentrates, and I'm looking for around 100 grams. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and pan this out and let it dry out, and then we'll smelt it and cupel it and see if we get anything. What or if we get. So the first thing we're going to do is add a little water to it. It's already a little wet because it came out of the sluice. And what we're going to do is we're going to agitate this briskly to make sure that the heavies find their ways down to the bottom. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tilt this at a slight angle while we run water through it and help wash off some of the material. Now, some may think, oh, you're being a little vigorous with that, but that's okay. Gold is extremely heavy, and so is silver and lead. If you're vibrating it properly, it'll sink to the bottom, and you won't have to worry about what you're doing. The ridges in the pan will hold it in place. Now, see, this is something I think Teresa would be very good at.
do a frontal shot. She's got a really natural jiggle, like a 7.4 on the Richter scale. I'm just saying.
Honey.
And you would probably enjoy watching her a lot more than me, so I'm just saying. All right, and what we're going to do, we're just going to pan this down. Now, the reason behind this question is that gold comes in different types. And up here we have, of course, the sulfides, which are it's just sulfur, is all it is. And it leaches up through the rocks and will sometimes attach itself when it's forming, helping to form precious metals. The really tiny pieces of fairy dust can get caught up in them. And so this, this is one of the things that we look for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pan this down just a little. I think that's about enough for now. And right now I'm not seeing a whole lot. All right, well, okay, looks like we have enough to do this like 3 times. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the exact same thing again. We're just going to vibrate the hell out of this bowl. And the reason we're doing this is to cause fluidation within the materials if the heavies really sink. And with gold and silver and lead being so damned heavy, they displace objects 19 times their size because they're 19.3 times heavier. Well, we're actually going to the source and checking those areas for this. So, we end up having to, instead of having to deal with black sands, we deal with sulfide, same problem. Just a different material.
And one of the things we do with the sulfides is we roast it.
We roast it.
To break open the sulfides?
Exactly. We roast it to break open the sulfide to get the sulfide to release any ore or any precious metals it may be containing. And these metals are going to be about fairy dust size. They're not going to be very large. And this is where the smelting comes in handy, is to help collect these really, really super fine ores. But, like I said, I'm looking for about 100 grams out of all this. This is the second time it's been sluiced.
Because Ernie sluiced it the first time and brought us what was left so we could go ahead and test and see if he was losing any gold. So that was the purpose of this.
Well, like I said, there was a question between me and an old Virginia miner about the same exact thing with him. And since we both agreed on the ore the last time, Ernie decided, well, let's do this. I told him bring it over and run it through, and he said, no, let's do a challenge. So, all right, this is what we're doing. So we're going to see if there's going to be Ernie's Lost Gold Part 2. Well, the reason we're talking about the sluices is gold comes in different shapes and sizes. Gold can be round, it can be coarse, it can be flat, it can be wiry, and it can be in a host rock. And what happens is some of these golds, like if I took a marble, a small marble, and I put it on Ernie's sluice, it would just roll down and drop off the end. If I put it on mine, it's not going anywhere. So the system we're using will tend to catch more gold. And when you're talking about a sulfide being, or precious ore being wrapped in a sulfide, you're going to have like little round objects like pieces of sand that will just roll out and down. So I don't know how much I'm expecting to find in this ore, maybe not a lot, but I am expecting to find some ore out of this. Okay, so out of everything we collected, oh, that's probably less than a quarter pound of material. This is going to be the material I'm going to be smelting. I'm not expecting there to be a lot in it, but I am expecting some to be in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set this out, and we're going to let it dry. Okay, so I ended up with about 70.7 grams of material out of the tailings Ernie sent after he sluiced them. And I mixed up 140 grams of flux, 40 grams of litharge, and 40 grams of borax. We're going to get this in the smelter and see if we come up with anything. Stay tuned. Okay, there's the hot slag cooling down, and yes sir, Ernie, I used a brand new 6K crucible to ensure there was no contamination. So we're going to let it cool down, and here in about an hour we'll come out and we'll pull it and see what type of lead pearl we got. And then cupel that down and see if there's going to be a part 2 to Ernie's lost gold. Stay tuned. Okay, we smelted that material and we ended up with a lead pearl, and the lead pearl is going to weigh in at 9.3 grams. Wow, that's actually pretty good. So let's smelt it. Let's go ahead and cupel it down. Okay, here's that lead bead we're getting ready to fire up to cupel here, and I'm hoping for good things. I normally don't get beads this large with the litharge when using around 43 grams. So we'll see. Hopefully there are good things in there. Stay tuned for the end results. Well, it looks like in fact we did find a nice little pearl of gold there. I don't know if mine will wet, but when it cools I'll pull it off and see. But yes, it would appear that Ernie is losing approximately this much gold anyway in the last batch he ran. Combined with what he found, his pearls would probably be a little larger. As you can see, we actually do have a little gold pearl here. I don't know if it'll register in the hundreds, but we're going to send it back to Ernie because I do know that his will register in the thousands. So he can compare what he got as to what he lost. So let's see if we can get this weighed. And we will drop it into the pan here. And we have absolutely nothing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in a little plastic container. I'm going to send it back to Ernie because he goes up into the thousands. So I know this thing is going to weigh. So we're going to throw it in there, send it to him, and let him do the final weigh-in. So just like in tennis, Ernie, I'm going to be Serena Williams, and bam! Back to you, brother, for the final conclusion.
Hi, this is Teresa with MT Treasures. I just wanted to thank all of you for going ahead and watching our videos. I hope you're enjoying them as much as we are enjoying making them. If you're enjoying the show, please leave a comment and let us know if there's something else you want to see. We do the rock hounding, rock tumbling, making jewelry. So there's a lot of different things that we're going to do. We're still got to go out with the kids a few times. We're trying to teach them how to pan, so we're probably going to do a little thing on that. But if you enjoy the videos and there's something else you think you might like to see from our area, please leave us a comment below and we will be happy to go ahead and investigate it and hopefully come up with an adventure we can all enjoy. And we've got a number of rock hounding videos and rock tumbling and jewelry making videos that we've been working on a little at a time. It takes about 8 to 10 weeks to tumble the rocks to get them all the way through all the processes, so it's a lot bigger job than I had ever thought of, but I fell in love with it. My Easter egg hunt, I just love it. So hope you enjoy it and come back and see that. Bye. I'll enjoy. So if you like this, please go ahead and hit like and subscribe.